Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Hello and welcome back.
Mama put me on.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Pashane and welcome to my channel. I hope that you will like this video and I hope that you will stay and subscribe. Please leave a comment down below after you've seen the video, letting me know how you liked the video or if you didn't like it, and giving me some other new video ideas. Okay, so in today's video, I will be talking about grief. Well, the things that I learned about grief as I've been grieving a few things for the last few, I'd say for this entire year pretty much. I've been grieving quite a few things, some that happened last year and some that happened this year. And as it is the close of 2023, I thought that this would be an important video just because I know grief is not something that a lot of people are comfortable talking about, and it's also not something that a lot of people are comfortable being around people that are grieving. I have 8 points of things that I've learned about grieving, and this is based on my experience. This is like, I'm not an expert or anything like that, so everything that I'm saying is purely based on my experience and the things that I've done. So it might help you, it might not help you. Take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. Okay, so number 1. The person experiencing the grief is the only one who gets to decide how long it takes. I say this because a lot of people seem to think that once time has passed, that you feel better or you get over whatever it is that you are grieving. And truth be told, no. It's really up to the person that is grieving, that has had that experience. It's really up to them how long it will take for them to actually heal. No one else can tell you how long you should grieve. And number 2, grieving is not a linear process. There will be days that it will feel like it just happened, which ties into the first thing that I said. Sometimes you will feel deeper negative emotions as though whatever it is that you're grieving just happened a second ago or a day ago or something like that, which is why it should be up to you how long it takes you to grieve. Because when the lows come, it doesn't mean that you didn't make progress. It doesn't mean that you're not grieving properly. It just means that you're human. Number 3, breaking down is normal and should be reflected on. It's very normal to break down every now and then when you are grieving. Even when you think you're done grieving, it's very normal to break down. What's not normal is to ignore the fact that you broke down. So what I would suggest is reflecting on what made you break down. Could it be what happened that triggered emotions of when you were grieving? Or could it be that you've been reminded of what you were grieving and that transports you back to where you were during the time that you were grieving, and it takes you to the time where you weren't so emotionally strong and you didn't feel up to being positive and just having this mindset of, you know, I can do this, it'll get better. You don't have to always have that. Number 4, the people around you want to be there for you, so open up about your grief. One thing that I've realized is that it actually helps for you to talk about your grief. However, obviously, if you're around people that are not grieving with you, it'll be very difficult for them to actually empathize with you at a certain extent, because when you're grieving, people seem to kind of understand within the first month of you grieving, and then afterwards it's almost like they forget what you went through. So you vocalizing how you feel and where you are it's actually helpful to the people around you because they do want to be there for you. But if you're not expressing the emotions that you're going through, then it's impossible for anyone to be there for you. Instead, you're going to feel like you are being told to get over it. Number 5, prayer brings peace, but it doesn't mean you aren't allowed to question your experience. This is one thing for me that actually I was speaking to one of my friends, and she was telling me about how when she speaks on things that she isn't happy about, or things that she's grieving, or things that frustrate her, or things that make her feel depressed, she found that the people around her were telling her, oh, look on the brighter side, be appreciative of the other things that you have, etc., etc. But it is normal to question what you're going through. Yes, you're going to pray, you're going to have peace. Yes, there are going to be positive things in your life that you can look at and point at. But let us not be those people who are practicing toxic positivity. For us to get to a place where there is a resolve, we actually have to question the things that we go through. We actually have to question the emotions that come. So it's very, very, very important actually that you do question, because then if you don't, how are you going to know what brings you peace? How are you going to resolve it for yourself? What are you going to tell your mind to put it at ease about what has happened and what you've experienced? Number 6, sharing your experience can educate others and help them to find peace. So what I mean by this is, for example, what I did with sharing my experience with losing my ovaries. As much as it was an uncomfortable thing to talk about, and as much as it was a very personal thing, I realized that there are other people out there who are experiencing the exact same thing. And by me keeping quiet and saying, oh, I'm going to keep this to myself, like I'm just going to suffer alone, those people will also feel like they are alone. But me sharing my experience and having people actually come back to me and say, oh, you know, I actually went through a similar thing. I found that helps you heal, because it helps you see things in a bigger light of, I'm not the only one who is experiencing these tragic things. Number 7, give yourself grace. We are our toughest critic. With this, I'm also speaking to myself, because as much as there could be external pressure, internal pressure is the most dangerous thing ever. You need to give yourself grace. You need to understand that you're going through something, and you need to treat yourself like someone who is going through something. For instance, you should think of how you would treat someone that was grieving. Especially at times when you feel frustrated with yourself and you feel like, I'm not making progress, or I'm stuck in the past, or why can't I get over this? I don't think it's something that you should be fighting yourself about. Instead, I would advise you to be there for yourself as you would be there for someone else during this time. And last but not least, it is very dangerous to keep yourself from grieving. Our minds thrive from making sense of things, and they also thrive from going through the motions. And that's exactly what grieving is. You experience loss and you go through the motions that you feel. So if you're extremely sad, if you need to cry, if you need to shout, scream, all those things, if you need to lay in bed for a few days, all these things, if you need to do that, do it, because you stopping yourself from doing it, you stopping yourself from feeling the emotions, you pretending that you're okay, it's only going to come back and haunt you in the worst way. And not necessarily haunt you, it's only going to come back and actually, it's going to come back and just tear down your world in a way where the control that you were trying to maintain, it's going to seem like it is just shattered. So my best advice for you would be, do not avoid grieving. Go into it full force. I don't mean force yourself to feel things, but I mean when the time comes and you do feel things, allow yourself to feel them. Allow yourself to reflect on why you feel them. And also give yourself grace to say, okay, this is how I feel about it now. It will get better, but I'm just going to sit in this for a bit. And that is it for my video today. I hope that these things that I learned will be helpful for you. And if you are grieving, just know that you're not alone. But a lot of the work during grieving is done alone. It can be isolating, but it's not the end of the world. And honestly, it might never end. But as you grieve, you begin to find ways to deal with the loss. You begin to heal, but you don't forget, obviously. And also you don't stop hurting. It doesn't stop being sad, but it gets better. Anyway, if you like this video and you like to see more videos from me, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and please leave a comment down below of anything that you are going through or that you are grieving. And let's share in the comments and have some conversation. Let's have a conversation in the comments about it. Please also share some tips of things that you learned about grieving. I know 2023 has actually been a year for a lot of people that has brought them a lot of loss. 2022, 2023 has been a year of loss for many people. So this is a safe space. Let us all just speak about it, and maybe you'll find someone who you can connect with so that you know that you truly are not alone. Anyway, I will see you guys in my next video.
Mama put me on. Mama put me